Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm sorry I haven't been online much. I've kind of just been stuck in life. Like I'm working on my degree, working on my personal training, which I'm going to get into that today. And then I've kind of just been dealing with my husband with his schedule. It's been a lot. So I apologize for not being online as much. So today I'm going to be talking about more things you should know about prior to doing personal training. I'm not saying personal training is bad. I still like it, but after these past couple weeks, I know that you have to do a lot of research prior to going in it and signing that stupid contract. So I recommend prior to going into a contract to go into the initial meeting. Sorry, I have my little paper to keep me on track here because I go off on tangents and then I send it up. So to go into the initial meeting with questions, please take the time to, even just 10 minutes, sit on the couch while you're watching TV, just think of questions. So while you're sitting down, going over the contract, what they say that the program will actually consist of, and all this, whatever information they're going to feed you about the program, ask questions like, who's your trainer going to be? Because in my situation, for the initial meeting, we did a small workout, and this guy did it with me, and I assumed that because he worked with me that he was gonna be my personal trainer, and the way he was doing the workouts and how motivating he was, I was like, heck yeah, be my trainer. No, he's not even a trainer that's listed for you to train with. He's just the initial counseling person. That really messed with me. I was like, that's annoying. So we had my initial meeting with him, and then he shipped me off to a different person to be my trainer. And I was like, well, I really signed up to be a trainer to be your client, not someone else's client. I haven't even met them. Why would I train with them? So that was number one that bugged me. Number two, will you do check-ins? I am a person who likes to keep weekly progress, monthly progress. I like progress. So for me, I like to do check-ins on the weekend, where it consists of sending a text to your trainer saying, you don't have to do physical pictures or whatever, but I personally like to send pictures of your physique so that you can see the difference of last week, this week, last month, this month, whatever. Then go over eating habits, stuff that you've been craving at night, your weight loss, any issues that you want to go over. You're just checking in with your trainer so that this new week, you guys know what to cover down on. So I didn't know, we never really talked about doing check-ins until I had to ask the trainer, hey, can we do this? And he said, yeah, go ahead. And then I assumed that the trainer was going to text me and be like, hey, check in with me, hey, do this, hey, do that. And didn't hear from him. And then the next day I brought it up to him, and he was like, oh, I just thought that you were going to send that information to me, because usually I have my clients just send it to me. But he never told me that, hey, you need to be the one initiating these conversations for check-in. So I was like, that was just a lack of communication both ways. Yeah, it's on my part because I should have known, but for somebody who wouldn't have known, and it's the trainer's responsibility to talk to people they don't know anything, it was just lack of communication. Do you get a meal plan? So for me, I got a meal plan. I got a set of macros, but then the list of food that the trainer gave to me, I just didn't see those macros adding up to the numbers that it gave me. So then I was just confused, and he wouldn't even sit down and give me the time of day to explain how he got those numbers and how everything adds up versus what I added up. That's why I thought that it didn't add up. So take the time to go over your meal plan. Don't rush it. Don't just believe what they say. Tell them to sit down with you and break everything down until you understand it. Don't walk away from that table until you understand it, because if you don't understand what's going on with your body, and you're trusting it with somebody you don't even know, that doesn't even make any sense. Why would you do that? You're not going to trust a stranger with your kids, so why would you trust a stranger with your body? And then also, what happens if you don't like the program? So I wish I would have asked this question when I was in my initial meeting before I signed my contract. because now I am about a month and a half in. I don't like my contract. I don't like the program. I would just rather do my own thing and try to find like a trainer somewhere else. I'm not saying like these trainers suck, but they're not compatible for me. So the policy to break the contract is to do a buyout, which you have to pay half of what you still owe. So for me, like, I just got charged for this month, so I have to do 6 sessions this month because I already got charged, which I don't want to, but I got charged. So then I would have to pay $400 for the rest of the contract just so I don't have to go anymore. So you're basically paying for no results, but then if I stayed and I paid the full price, then I would be paying for something that I'm not happy with. So either way, it's a no-win situation. And he said, because we're military, like, the only way to get out of it is to give them fake orders. And I was like, no way, Jose, we're not about that. So it's just like, find out all the ins and outs of what the program is, how you're gonna get out of the contract if you don't like it. Like, you just need to know everything prior to going in, or else you're just gonna be stuck and you're gonna be unhappy just the way I am. Don't be afraid to hurt their feelings. I was kind of leery of this at first, like, all right, don't be a jerk and just be like, hey, ass, like, don't just go to them, like, start swearing or something, but like, be polite about it. But at the same time, like, if you have an issue with them and how they're doing something or how the program is, like, tell them. Who cares if it hurts their feelings? Like, that's their job, is to make sure that they're taking care of you and what you need. So like, if they get butthurt over it, then that's their fault, because they're not meeting your needs in the first place. And if you're paying so much money to do personal training in the first place and it's not up to par to your standards, like, screw it. Who cares? Like, you better just get yourself together and tell them what's wrong before you end up wasting a bunch of money, because that's gonna suck. And then lastly, so when I was in my initial meeting, we went over prices over it, and I looked at the paper and I was like, are you sure? Like, are you scamming me? Like, that's hella expensive. But like, the reality is like, personal training is a trend, and it's something like people need. Well, not something people need, something that people prefer, because a lot of people are lazy, so they like to have people tell them what to do. Like, the reason why I want a personal trainer is because I'm lazy. Like, I know how to do all this stuff, but I'm just lazy with it, so I would rather have somebody do it for me. And then some people honestly just don't have the knowledge of working out, so then they get a personal trainer. So either way, like, personal training is expensive. So when I looked at the paper and like the guy saw my face, he was like, is there something wrong? And I was like, I don't want to pay that. I was like, are you serious? And I only got like half-an-hour sessions. I didn't even buy like the hour session. So like, I'm paying for $200 a month for 4 half-an-hour sessions a month. Like, but then because I negotiated my deal and I told them, I was like, I don't want to pay for that. And most, like, 10 times out of 10, like, they want you to join the program, and they want you to tell other people about it. So if you're like, hey, I want to join your program, but at the same time, like, I don't want to pay that price, like, negotiate with them. Negotiate, because that's what I did. I was like, I'm not paying that price. And because, like, they saw me working out, and like, they saw like my mindset, and they knew that like having someone like me in the program would probably help their business. In the long run, it didn't, but they were like, I want this girl in our program, so we're gonna make it work with her. So they ended up giving me like some manager special, and they gave me extra sessions, so I really got 6 sessions a month. So like, it ended up working out, but at the same time, like, in the end, like, I'm still not happy with the mama. So in the end, like, you have to negotiate their price. Like, if you want to do it and the price is kind of like, oh, no thanks, like, just tell them like, hey, like, I want to do your program, like, I actually need your help, but like, I can't afford that. And do not, like, be humble enough to be humble enough to say, I can't afford that, because if you can't afford something, you can't afford something. Who cares? Like, there's always going to be someone who can't afford something else. Well, unless you're like Bill Gates or something. But like, be humble enough to say you can't afford it, because you're going to end up getting a better deal. So that's what I did. So those are my tips and tricks on doing before you get a personal trainer. Remember, ask questions at your initial meeting. Don't be afraid to hurt their feelings when you're not happy, and negotiate your price before signing that freaking contract, because you're going to be unhappy and you're going to be upset and you're going to wish that you had these tips before you sign that contract. So tonight